All right. Well, welcome to your place for those who despise government, think they suck at everything, tired of the media narrative, tired of our two-party crap system, tired of the candidates that we get to vote for, and overall, just want to know what the hell the actual truth is. That's what this place is for. Hopefully someday it'd be nice to have a community of people that would like to get together and actually, solve problems and come up with solutions for things. But in the meantime, I guess you just have to hear me complain. But if that sounds like something you would like to do, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel and like the video, comment, and share, what have you. I've been doing this for just a couple months now, so I'm slowly working at it. I'm a historian, a writer, content creator. I'm Dr. Jesse Roberts is my name. So future hopefully would be, doing some history content, things like that. Now, if you are interested at all, because a lot of what I do on here is just commentary on the news and whatever things, if you want to know where my links are, I've started making a newsletter. It's basically just a daily newsletter on Substack where whatever news stories I read, I put my comments in, and that's usually what I talk about on here. So like when I'm doing my research to figure out what I'm going to talk about, I just put it up on a Google Doc with my notes, right? So I'm going to put that up on Substack. It's in the link if you want to just get that and stuff. Easy way to find the links of what I'm talking about and what I'm reading in the morning. If you want to know what I'm reading book-wise, as a historian right now, I'm reading this. It's called Harmonizing Sentiments, Declaration of Independence, and the Jeffersonian Idea of Self-Government. And it's by Hans Eichholz. Actually, so when I got my PhD, I took a course called Western Freedoms. It's kind of like the great books courses. So you learn a lot about ancient philosophy, the foundational tenets of our liberty, things like that, right? Intellectual origins of things. And we had actually read this book. And when you're in grad school, especially getting a PhD in history, you read an obscene amount of material. I mean, when you're doing so one of the things you do as a PhD, near the end of your PhD, before you write a dissertation, is you do comprehensive examinations, which is like, you pick a subject area and you will read, not even kidding, like 100 books on this subject, on this time period, and then you have to do an examination based off the author. So you blow through them a lot. And I did read this at one point, but decided to go back in time. And I would go back in time, go back and read it again. So I would like to do a rundown of this, which I'd probably put up as Substack, but it's like my book reviews sounds like something interesting to do as a video. You could always let me know. I'm working on another research project as well, reading another few books there. The cat's in here with me, and he's very intrigued by something. It must be a bug of some kind. All right, so I have been at AWOL for, I haven't been very consistent lately because I've been sick. I have whatever's been going around, and my lungs have been, it's been torturous to breathe and sleep and do anything. So I'm finally feeling better today. I was feeling better the other night, but only could do 20 minutes. So tonight I thought I would try to stick it out and do a full length video, hour plus, excuse me, as I start coughing. I may have to chuck a cough drop in. If that happens, I'm sorry. So we are actually in October 11th. I don't know if any of you are hunters like me. Have you been able to get out and do anything? Since I've been sick, I missed out. It's in Michigan. It's been, archery season since September 1st. So tomorrow night, well, not tomorrow night, Sunday night will be the first time I get to go out yet. And you gotta love archery season because the deer are not quite as terrified yet, and you can actually hit something. Hopefully, I usually get a deer, gun season anyways. But I'm sorry, I miss it so bad. I can't wait to get out. And that's crazy because we're in the middle of, not quite the middle, but a third of the way through October already. And you got to do the thing where you watch, Halloween movies with your kids. Who doesn't love Halloween time? And like we watched Casper. Remember that movie from the 90s? Haven't seen it since I was a kid. And then wow, I didn't realize what a piece of crap this movie is until I watched it with them. Whatever. They liked it, but it was just, it's so bad. So bad. And like the effects are so bad. So simultaneously right now I got a couple college football games on. There's just too much to do this time of year. So let me get into it. Now I don't know if you saw this or not, but I'll just show it to you. It's I don't know if this is real. It was going around like crazy, but what's going on with my screen here? Why are you not? Oh, wrong browser. That's why. Hold up. I know I do this every time. Now, come on, Bree, work for me. All right, let me refresh my feed here. Right, quick, because I got all my links pulled up. This did not make it on the newsletter today, but if you wanted to, it was making its way around X. I'm sure you might have seen it. What is happening? All right, hold on. Let me try to fix this problem here. This is giving me a problem. That's Wit there behind me. He's chasing bugs of some kind. Here we go. Got it. All right. So, I don't know if you saw this or not. Here, let me plug my headphones in to listen to it with you. I saw it this morning. Could be fake, but it's just funny. Let me pause it here. Oh boy, this is we're in for a real treat here. Let me put my video down here. Okay, transition over. All right, so this is an ad. Well, not an ad. It's not endorsed by any candidate, but it did show up on social media today, making the rounds. I pulled up on X so you can see it full screen in its full glory. All right, here we go. Whoop, sound. Go.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I ain't afraid of
Bet you
bears.
do.
That's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women.
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies.
Have all the cats you want.
Woman wants to be president?
Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I
I
refuse
don't even know what
to
that
ask for
means.
directions.
What kind of
Man
donuts
enough
do you
to
like?
not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked. Not worth it.
I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse. I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually. Good Will Hunting.
West Side Story.
That and Predator.
And I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful. That's not how my mama raised me.
I love women.
I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
It does say on the bottom, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee, but it very well could be fake. I don't even want to go around saying it's real because I saw it was making heads explode this morning on X. And what are you looking at, Whit? Oh boy, there's a ghost in here. I saw it making the rounds. People were blowing up about this, and I'm like, there's no way this thing is real. It would be ridiculous. If you, the thing is though, if you asked like people from Kamala's campaign, I'm thinking like young women, to write a ad targeting men, trying to pick manly men, I feel like that would be the type of content they would come up with. It's a thing that they do, these Democrats do. I remember during the pandemic when they were having a hard time getting certain demographics of people to get the jab. I remember Jen Psaki was saying things like, we put ads in NASCAR and Deadliest Catch and, you know, fishing shows, like all the stuff that stereotypical hillbillies like, right? They you're implying the person that won't get their special treatment there is because of it. They're just too busy watching NASCAR. But that's what they think. It's like the whole thing with Tim Walz, the reason for his selection is because he's supposed to appeal to Trump's base. Trump's base is, you know, to them, it's predominantly male. They assume it's a bunch of, like, you know, sexist men, obviously. What is that? Oh, that's a moth. So he did have a bug. He killed it. Now it's just dead, and now it's wounded, and he likes to make it suffer. Wait, stop. It's just a moth, dude. Oh boy, great. Now he's all turned up. Normally he just sleeps in the chair next to me, but he has to be in here with me too. He can't not be with Dad during this time. So much so that when I was sick, he would actually come find me at night and have a meltdown that I wasn't in here recording videos with him in the room with the door shut, because we have two other cats, and he likes to have, like, be alone in a room with me. So this was always that time, and then he was pissed that I wasn't doing it this week. So he's happy now. But, you know, the Tim Walz selection was supposed to appeal to that, like, white male base. Like, he's an outdoorsman, and he owns a gun, and he's a knucklehead, and he's a white guy, and he eats tacos with beef and cheese. You know, it's so unbelievably offensive. Like, somehow it's just this one giant big fat stereotype that we all are. At Tim Walz meets, I got my camo hat on, but guess what? I wouldn't vote for Tim Walz if you paid me. My politics are, I consider myself libertarian. I'm not a fan. I think the Republican Party sucks immensely. I really do. It's not like I have issues with the values of conservatives. It's that I think politically the Republicans just are terrible. They don't do anything. I think the Democrats are just blatantly destructive. So I'm in the middle. I consider myself like a Mises libertarian, generally, with some, I tend to lean more right, but the idea of me voting for Tim Walz is laughable. He has a gun, so I should vote for him because he's an NRA member. Yeah, because the NRA they're the epitome of the Second Amendment. You know, they're totally not just another political organization. But I thought that ad was just like, it's A, typical of what they would think masculine men would look like, but B, when I sent that to my brother, he said, that's actually the kind of person that I think, that I picture would vote for them. And he's right. It's both. So, kind of funny. But, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's real? I don't think it's real. I think it's fake. It's got to be fake. Interestingly, here I was on X earlier just for a snippet. I haven't been on that much the last few days. This article here. Let me see. Let me pull up my other feed here. This article says, former Joint Chiefs of Staff Chair Mark Milley calls former Trump a fascist to the core in a new Woodward book. I'm assuming it's Bob Woodward. Let's see. Yeah. In case you're not familiar who Bob Woodward is, he's the guy that was a nobody journalist who happened to crack or break the Watergate story. Look at this. Former Joint Chiefs of Staff, this is from The Hill, Chair and retired General Mark Milley has called former President Trump a total fascist. And he believes he is the most dangerous person in the U.S., according to excerpts from the forthcoming Bob Woodward book. He is the most dangerous person ever. I had suspicions when I talked to you about his mental decline and so forth, but now I realize he's a total fascist. He's now the most dangerous person in this country, a fascist to the core. He would be court-martialed should Trump win the presidency next month because the commander-in-chief has power over retired commission officers. So, in case you aren't aware, Mark Milley, before Trump, rescinded his presidential seat, stepped down, let Biden take over. Mark Milley actually was talking to nations behind the president's back because Milley was so afraid Trump was just going to go nuclear on people because he was such a threat. These people live in Looney Tune world, dude. Woodward cites Steve Bannon, a former senior Trump advisor, earlier this year gave a list of people he believes Trump should go after if he's elected a second term, including Milley, Andrew McCabe, and James Comey. It's because these people are corrupt. Because these people have failed the American people and they've committed, like, how is you're a general and you're talking to other nations behind the president of the United States back. Whether you like Trump or not, the American people elected him. And you, like, I'm sorry, but that is precisely the type of thing that the government, like, that they should go after people. I hate the government. I think they suck. But I think in instances of, blatant treason, that they should come down on your ass. They really should. Trump's the most dangerous person ever. Notice how, okay, so this book comes out when? It's probably going to be a real page turner too. I just want to see when the book, forthcoming is all it says. He would be he's scared. Listen, he's previously sought to recall and court-martial retired senior officers who have criticized him. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it comes down to. I'm sure that it's because you said things negative about him. He wants to lock you up and throw away the key. Generally how that works too, if you were to get court-martialed, it's not just going to be a guaranteed guilty verdict if you're getting locked up for criticizing the guy. I think if something happened, you would be in pretty deep shit because of something you did. He's the most dangerous person ever. All these people can't get out of their own way with the stupidity. It's just unbelievable. We don't take an oath to the king, queen, or tyrant, or dictator. We don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator. We don't take an oath to an individual. We take an oath to the Constitution. We take the oath to the idea that is America. Willing to die. Shut up. Your loyalty is completely centered on the uniparty establishment and the military-industrial complex. I'm sure you really give a rat's ass about the Constitution and the people of America. He's the most dangerous person in America. Listen, what they could do is let Trump get elected. They could sit back. They could do everything they did last time. They can make it impossible for him to get anything done. His 4 years will be up. He'll be 80 plus years old and he'll go his way. And then you guys will be done with Trump. That's all you have to do. But they can't even have him be elected. Do you think for 2 seconds that the people within government would let anything happen to these people? They're not going to go after anybody. The Republicans wouldn't go after anybody either. If the Republicans had complete control of everything, they wouldn't do anything with that power. There are an awful lot of people that we have in our government that deserve to answer for things they've done. Actually, just, government in general does, but how many people have lied us into wars? Huh? Why are all the people that lied us into Afghanistan and Iraq, why are they still in power? What about all the people that, fed into corruption, and all the people that like, what about Biden dealing with foreign countries and corrupt business dealings with his son, and I'm sorry, you deserve to answer for those types of things, because it's at the expense of the American people. This guy, congratulations, you're, in your new book. That's all I'm going to say. Oh boy. I didn't see this yet. Politico says Americans are too stupid. I saved the article, didn't read it. What is this? Body armor? Politico says Americans are too stupid to realize they live in a dream economy thanks to Biden and Harris. Oh, look at that. Don't you want body armor from Temu? I'm sure it's real quality stuff. If you made $100,000 in 2020, that same $100,000 is worth $83,000. And groceries you bought in 2020, they're up at least a third in cost, maybe more. Yeah, it's definitely more for me. Oh. Politico says we're all living in a dream economy thanks to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We're too stupid to understand. They've been saying that now for a while. I can't read the rest of the article, unfortunately. Twitchy is a, they're pretty good with just calling out the BS. They just kind of, they're doing like it, as it goes. Should follow, give them a follow on X. But that's just nothing new. The whole you're too stupid to see the economy's good. And I did say this in yesterday's. I put out today's newsletter. I put out that I still have it up. There we go. Sorry about the cough drop. It's the only thing I have. So I have these cough drops from Ricola. They're caramel flavored. Oh, it's so gross. It's like a minty caramel, and I'm out of other cough drops, so that's all I have left. And it's disgusting. It's like not a flavor that mixes well at all. It's like is it Werther's or whatever? Like the old man cinnamon candy with but like that with a minty taste. Oh, it's gross. It's horrible. Inflation falls to 2.4%, the lowest in 3 years, according to Axios. Annual change in consumer price index. CPI rose 2.4% in the 12-month period that ended in September, while a gauge that strips out food and energy prices was 3.3%, the government said Thursday. The September CPI report is the latest data indicating that inflation crisis is in the rearview mirror, with few signs of price pressures reigniting. The CPI figure, the smallest increase since February 2021, compared to the 2.5% increase in the year ending August. The CPI, core CPI though, so the stuff that matters, that continued to go up. So this is what they're going to do right now. It's very politically convenient to claim the economy is a booming or doing better than it is, just like that article I showed you from Politico seconds ago, maybe. But they've, of course, the Fed decided to lower interest rates. It's just because the economy is good, though, guys. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's October and the election is a month away and the polls have it neck and neck, and Kamala Harris is doing the interview podcast circuit because she's desperate to regain anything, or regain that momentum that she had immediately following her candidacy announcement, because it was a phenomenon for 5 minutes. So she so you have, it's this moment now where she needs to do everything she can, because and that's why she's calling Trump weak for not wanting to do another sorry, I got distracted. Another debate. It's weak. You're weak because you don't want to do another debate with me on my terms, in my environment, with my propaganda networks and my whatever, you name it. But of course they're going to drop interest rates now. And listen, they have the people running the Fed and all that, in the current government, they have everything to gain by BSing you into believing the economy is good right now. They have everything to lose if Trump were to get elected. Their loyalty lies with their job, not you. They don't really care if the economy is that good. And what they're going to do is continue to play around with printing money. Then we'll raise interest rates to try to curb inflation. People will spend less. We'll start to collect more of those dollars. And then we'll signal the economy is good by lowering interest rates. And then what we'll do is people will start to dump a bunch of money. It's just a stupid system. Up and down and up and down. One of my pictures fell down. Got a bunch of pictures on my wall here that one of them dropped. Grab it. I can get it here. What's a picture of? It's me in a Civil War reenacting when I was a kid. Interestingly enough, my dad used to take us to Civil War reenactments and gave me the history spark, and I'm a historian to this day, thanks to my dad. But anyways, they are going to try to signal everything is good right now, and they're going to encourage people to spend a bunch of money, make it seem like the economy is booming, with no real interest in long-term production, no real interest in waiting things out. They have to subsidize. That's what we're going to deal with right now. And that's why Politico is writing articles saying you're too stupid to realize the economy is good. And also, we're going to signal the economy is good by doing this interest rates. And Kamala Harris will come in and she'll give away a bunch of free money. You'll be able to buy a house. We'll still try to cancel your student loan debt. Those are the things, right? The government is your savior. The government's going to come in and save your life. They're going to come in and take care of everything for you. It's pathetic. It's pathetic that people buy into this stuff. And to be honest, you're at a point now where if you don't believe it, it's dangerous. It's dangerous to question the government. Which makes me want to jump into this other story here that I put in my little newsletter thing today. I'm trying not to blow my vocal cords out, so if I'm quiet, I'm sorry. I'm working my way through this. So, this is from the LA Times. Elon Musk's courtship with MAGA has driven X into misinformation abyss. So basically, Elon Musk is he's a purveyor of dangerous misinformation because he talks about things like FEMA sucking at their job. And he shares misinformation all the time. And he lets Trump's MAGA crowd be on there sharing misinformation all the time. So, and so the way this works is Elon Musk owns X. So that means that he's just out there willy-nilly forcing you to see his bullcrap. You have no choice. He's jamming it down your throat and he's lying. And his buddies, all those mega conspiracy theorists are on there just going around. And in Elon Musk, because he likes freedom of speech, means he likes hate speech. And he likes misinformation. And hate speech is amplified on there. Because he took over. There are things called mute. You can mute people if you don't like to hear words they say. And any blatant threats on there are dealt with. And literally anything that comes from not the left is considered misinformation or hate speech to these people. It doesn't matter what it is. It's misinformation. They're just wrong. They're always wrong about everything. Well, who do we know? How do we know what's right? Who gets to determine what right is? Oh, we do. We do. We here at the government. We have what we are is we are the biggest conglomeration of the best brains in the country. All smart people, the most qualified people in the country. And we come together with our big smart brains, and we know what truth is because we're in this club. We know what the truth is. We know everything there is to know about everything. Even if a problem pops up today, whatever we say is right no matter what, even if it's something we know nothing about, and anything that runs counter to that is wrong. It's misinformation. So you have to just understand that's how it is. And even if years down the road or months down the road or days down the road, we're called out for not just being wrong, but flat out lying to you, that's dangerous. You're sowing distrust in government when you do that. You guys are dangerous. I'm so tired of this self-righteous, just, it's like this virtue signaling type thing. It's just this, the self-importance of these people. So what happens is, things like this, these hurricanes happen, and people that are living through the tragedy, they're suffering, they can't, get what they need, or, they're dealing with the government, and the government sucks, and the government has blown through the money or whatever, because FEMA does not have enough money to deal with things, whether people want to believe it or not. How they spent their money. I've heard that there are lots of dumb things FEMA does, and a lot of the money that they get now is money that they've owed different things for over a decade now. They're so backloaded with crap they owe money to. So you have that, but these people are like, listen, we're going through this hard time, and the government has not done anything to help us, and they're not letting people help, right? They're like, these things are happening. People are saying this. And then they come out and say, well, it's dangerous. And Elon Musk, you need to ban this on your platform. You can't let people talk like this. Like, you should see through that interaction alone how incredibly important it is to have the ability to have freedom of speech, because if you were not allowed to criticize these things at all, then eventually in several years time, people would just think that they're amazing at everything and they never fail at anything, and you can't criticize them. So, and anything that does, you are immediately shut down. So all you'll ever hear are the positive things and the great things they do, and then people will think, oh, they're just amazing at everything. If criticizing them is the inspiration for them to actually get things done and change their methods, and people put a fire under them, figuratively speaking, to do their job and spend the money that we give them the right way that they're supposed to spend it, because it's our money, then you have every right to do that. Because for most of these people, they're not elected. They come you're paying them out of your money for positions you did not elect them to, and positions you cannot fire them from. And the money you give them that they're blowing through actually has a long-term effect on your life. All the money you're going to spend going forward, like with inflation and all that stuff is all added on from all the crap all the money we give these people. And I have every right to hold you accountable for that. Whether you want me to say it out loud or not, or you think it's dangerous, it doesn't matter, because I didn't vote for you. None of us did. And the only power I have in this situation is to call you out on it. And for the first time ever, not ever, but within the last several years, we have a widespread capability to do that. We have the ability to call these people out massively in an instant. Most platforms, aside from X, will shadow ban people, will ban people, will, suspend people. Like I have a Facebook, and back in the day, I used to get a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Engagement. Sorry. On my Facebook. And now I get absolutely nothing. I don't even see my friends' stuff on there. But if I post anything, like, nobody sees it. Like, I could post like 50 things and nobody will see it anymore. I'm completely like convinced it's just I've been shadow banned because of things I've said in the past. And they want to do that. So eventually you're like, well, what's the point of using this stupid platform? Because people can reach me. Like, I can see their stuff, but they can't see me. So, if all those platforms that are heavily moderated, people around there complaining about it, complaining about the government sucking and whatever, doesn't matter. They can tune that down and make sure that nobody sees it if they really want to. Or on X, it's it's a free speech platform that's huge. It's not Getter, Parler, Gap. These are great sites, but it's just other conservatives on there. You're not going to jump on Parler or Getter and hang out with people from every angle of the political spectrum. There'd be leftists on there that are there to reply guy you and, argue with you at every turn. But, I mean, that's about it, And think about how X is like, it's a platform for any interest. You could talk about sports on there. You could talk about politics on there, news, economics, history, whatever you want to talk about. Like those other apps, it's like just politics. And if you're going to say stuff, you're hitting a giant echo chamber. Around a place like X, you can reach people opposite of your political ideology. Which kind of happens a lot because the way the algorithm works, you'll see crap that pisses you off and you comment on it, and then you start seeing it all the time. Like, I've commented it a few times, being like an idiot on stuff like the Biden account was posted, and then I start seeing stuff from like Pete Buttigieg and or Pete Buttigieg or whatever, and then I'll see stuff from Tim Walz, and I'll see stuff from Adam Schiff, like all these stupid people that I don't want to see. It's like, great, I did this to myself. But X is that platform. You can do that. That's what makes it dangerous, because it's the only mainstream platform that gives conservatives a voice. Conservatives are automatically MAGA. It's MAGA. MAGA, 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 MAGA. And what they don't realize, their treatment of Elon Musk is exactly what pushed him this direction. So many things happened that flipped that dude around in recent years. The pandemic, obviously, that was a huge one for everybody, but the state he was living in completely destroyed itself and imploded because of leftist policies. He bought X to make it free speech, and then he became a target of the left. They've tried to smear him with the press. They've tried to, destroy his other companies. I mean, like, you're literally proving his point by treating him that way. Just like the way they treat Trump, it just proves the point of all the people that support him. It makes them support him more. I just don't understand how they don't have a brain enough. They don't have a brain enough or mind enough to see that. Like, there's no way they're that dumb. What do you think it is? Can they not help it? Like, you tell me. Comment. Can they not help it that he is they just have to constantly go after him? Or is it because they don't realize it? Or is it because they actually think they're going to get him one day? Because in order to get him, it'd have to be real solid stuff. And you guys have raked through that guy's life more than anybody on earth. It's pretty amazing how squeaky clean he is, considering all the stuff they've gone through with him. So, and they're just making him more popular by doing that. And I'm starting to see that Elon Musk is the same way. And I'm starting to think that Elon Musk, there's another derangement syndrome on the out there floating around. We have a Musk derangement syndrome now because the left can't stand, the left wants to they just blow their minds whenever they think about him. Do you want to know the reason why? It's because of X. Because he is a free speech guy. It's not just it's not because he supports Trump. That's something far more recent. They've hated him ever since he bought X and made it a free speech platform. And he cut back on moderation. X was more fun when we were in charge of it. And we could ban whoever we wanted and shadow ban people. And we could censor and we could have bots attack. It's like, it's a trade-off. You know, X before was a different type of platform. It was, when it was Twitter, it was just a, you know, the way to get a following on there was different, and it was far more, it was based more on that, like more based on more like your interaction, would cater a more personalized feed for you, right? And then Elon brings in this like pay for play type thing. People just, it drives them nuts, but it still has huge outreach. And it's the most popular, probably the most popular social media app out there. It's so powerful that countries that don't like free speech are banning it around the world, or trying to. I mean, the EU was trying to get it to shut down when he was going to do that Trump interview. Pretty crazy. So yeah, this article, stupid, but he's just a conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theories. Does anybody care about any of these terms anymore? Do you care about any of these terms? Do they mean anything to you? What do you think of when you hear the word conspiracy theory? I think, well, that person must be right about whatever they're talking about. The media labels them that, they must be right. So what do you think about that word? Or Trump's a fascist. What do you think about that? What does it even mean to you? Because clearly Millie has no idea what fascism is. You know, fascism is essentially corporatism, you know, at the behest of your government. Huh, imagine that. Does that word mean anything? What about misinformation or disinformation? Or what about I'm trying to think of all these. Democracy. What do you think about that? Threat to democracy. Does that mean anything to you? It's completely meaningless to me. I don't even care. I don't want to hear that crap anymore, because my freedom and my liberty is far more important than whatever you all claim democracy is. Democracy to you is your little, you know, your fun little clique of all your friends that get to continue to take advantage of all of us. This article continue to, like, you know, just rip into everything about Musk. He wore a t-shirt that was too small. He was jumping up and down on stage, and Trump was annoyed. Yep, I'm sure he was. They're just so desperate to make you hate them, and it's never going to happen. Make you hate, you know, Trump and Musk. Like, at this point, if you hate them, it's not going to be because of whatever the media directed you to do. Lately, Kamala's been on this whole, she's on the Mean Girl, or whatever it's called, the Call Me Daddy, or Call Her Daddy podcast or whatever. And she goes on Stephen Colbert's show, and she goes on, you know, 60 Minutes, and it's like this, it just, doesn't it feel like 2008 to you? It's like Jon Stewart's back doing a thing. And you watch it and you're like, wow, this is like 2008 again. And then you realize, like, what they want it to be. They're trying to pretend like it is. Like it's 2012 Obama before Trump was ever a thing. We're going to pretend like people watch late night TV and people care what people in Hollywood say, and they care about the endorsements of people like Mark Hamill, and they care about what Julia Roberts says, and they care about what Stephen Colbert says, and they care about what 60 Minutes says, and they care about what the call her daddy thing is weird. Like, really, that's the podcast he went on, but whatever. It just seems like the perfect place for the Democrat candidate to end up, honestly. But bizarre that it's like this desperation to cling on to what was cool back during that time. Like, we're going to pretend like we didn't go Obama, Trump, Biden. Like, we just went from like Obama to Biden, and we're going to continue doing the same thing we always did. And they're always trying to hang on to this era with desperation, this time period of like, back when people thought, did you ever really think politicians were respectable or told the truth? I didn't, but back then, it seemed like they were far more revered than they are now. People tend to think more so they're just a joke now, and they're lying to us, and they're full of crap. It's because with social media like X, we call them out in an instant. They want to go back to the days when it wasn't like that. And when late night comedy was relevant and SNL used to be funny. And like, if you really think about it, all these things are dying. Late night comedy, it's just a giant echo chamber for the left. It's people that all they want is applause. They don't really care about they don't really care about being funny anymore. And it's like Stephen Colbert, who used to be funny, is now just a huge sellout, total shill for the left. And like, it's like so cringe. Of course, I keep harkening back to when he was he did the dance with a person dressed up as a syringe, paid for by fight. It's just, the whole thing it's bad. And these are people that I wouldn't sit down and watch their show if there was nothing on TV and I was sitting at home. I don't watch TV, so I'm just playing a theoretical here. I watch football and that's it. And then other than that, I don't even own TV during that. I cancel my YouTube TV after football season's over. But let's say I'm sick. I'm home alone, and the only thing that's on TV is Jimmy Fallon or Stephen Colbert, and I can't do anything else. I'm too tired to read. I'm just gonna sit there with the TV off. Because it's painful and it's cringe and it's embarrassing and torturous and it's not funny, and it's insulting. It's insulting to people that they want you to feel like you're not part of their cool kid clique. Even if you're like not necessarily a Trump supporter, but you're just not a destroying America supporter, they want you to feel like you're left out. They want you to feel like it's 2000. Like you should want to be here like it's 2008 again. So that, like, that's not funny anymore. SNL is unwatchable to me. Mainstream media has completely ruined its own reputation during the pandemic and with all the Trump fake impeachment stuff and the propaganda surrounding the current wars and all this stuff. They've completely ruined the trust in their stuff. Like, that's their fault. And I would say back in like 2008, people had far more trust. I mean, I was never really big into the news and stuff back then. But like during election time, when Mitt Romney was running, I watched CNN all the time. Like, if I wanted to watch the news, I'd turn on CNN. I remember watching like Anderson Cooper and Wolf Blitzer and all these people. And those people are just fraudulent to me. Like, I can't, they're just, it's all just a lie. They want to go back to the time when I used to watch CNN. And that's what they're trying to do. That's what Kamala Harris is. Kamala Harris is supposed to represent a continuation of that, where they talk to you in their a politician tone, and oh, Trump, he is dangerous. He's a danger for our democracy and constitution, and it's like, insert talking point here. It was just like that VP debate, They come in, you get the lights going, it's all, the candidates are standing there all perfect, and the ladies are sitting at the desk like, and here we are at the 2024 vice presidential debate. And you're like, why do they act like this? Who thinks this is how real life is anymore? These politicians are not this way. It's been nothing but name calling, and it's just been a joke this whole election season. And it's like, well, no, we still act like this. So, oh man, what happened to my? So there was a couple other things I wanted to I thought was kind of interesting. Was I usually use Brave, but sometimes I use Microsoft Edge or whatever just comes on the computer. And excuse me. For some reason, I always get these like lefty, articles that I always just look at them and I'm like, man, imagine the people that read these things and believe them, or like think this is cutting, hard-hitting news. This is the Rachel Maddow blog. Now, in case you don't know who Rachel Maddow is, she's apparently a journalist of some kind. She's one of the highest paid people at MSNBC, which is a propaganda network. And she constantly rails against Trump as the ultimate threat to democracy. He's whatever all the stuff they say, she's right up there pushing on that narrative. Another one of those shows I wouldn't watch if you paid me. She, like, what she's doing to that network is literally highway robbery with how infrequent she actually works, and probably what she gets paid. But I don't care, because the networks are all on their way out anyways. Nobody watches this crap. But this is an article. The problem with the probes into the Trump rally shooting. So nearly 3 months after being targeted by a would-be assassin, Donald Trump returned to Butler, Pennsylvania over the weekend for a follow-up campaign rally, which was what we just saw with Musk. So then they're talking about the investigation into the last, obviously the shooting. And listen to this. There is, of course, an official congressional task force with bipartisan membership, though House GOP leaders stacked the panel with some very conservative conspiracy theorists. It was against this backdrop that the task force invited 2 other House Republican conspiracy theorists to testify as witnesses during an official hearing prompting a Democratic boycott. So, conspiracy theorists, very conservative conspiracy theorists. I mean, why don't they just change the name of the Republicans in the House to conspiracy theorists versus Democrats? So, like, instead of having the little R next to your name, it'll just say CT in your state, because apparently they're all conspiracy theorists. So this year says Arizona's Eli Crane and Corey Mills were overseeing a parallel investigation because they don't trust the federal government to actually do the job necessary. Now, he put up a radical idea that he was concerned that government officials might have been involved in the shooting. Now, that's a very radical idea. Of course, as the New York Times reported, the Arizonan is determined, so talking about Eli Crane, to pursue his rather off-the-wall theories for which there is no evidence, including bizarre claims that there might have been a secret mole within Trump's Secret Service detail. The FBI might hide the truth. The would-be assassin might have had Confederates, and second would-be assassin might be an asset of a foreign adversary that was being handled. So, and they're like, why the House is not embarrassed by this? The House conspiracy theorists, I mean, Republicans are not embarrassed by this. Like, listen, this is precisely why nobody thinks that you are legitimate anymore as journalists. Because all of those things are things you should be investigating. But instead, you're going to just toe the line of the deep state and the government. And you're going to pretend like that's outrageous to say that. Listen, dude. There are far too many coincidences and happenstances, or whatever you want to call them, during that whole thing for this just to be like, this was just a one-off thing and the guy got lucky. No, there's no way. And then once again, another attempt happens at a stretch of fence at Mar-a-Lago that is always guarded by agents because it is a weakness in the fence, but that day it wasn't. Yep, sounds a lot like no conspiracy here to look at. But if you ask these questions, you're automatically a very far-right conspiracy theorist. I'm glad that we have people that are willing to investigate these things and look into it and say, hey, maybe our government was in on this. Because in case the person writing this blog doesn't know, we had a sitting president of the United States once that was taken out. Who took him out? You answer that question for me. So is it that outlandish to think? Now let's think about this. What did I just tell you Mark Milley said? I'm not implicating him at all. But what he said was, Trump is the most dangerous person in the United States. He's more dangerous than multiple murderers. He's more dangerous than deranged psychopath. He's more dangerous than it because he could be president and he's so dangerous. Okay, he's so dangerous that our government has tried to frame him for multiple crimes that didn't happen, to try to ruin his chances of running. They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to impeach him several times. They tried to frame him for treason. You don't think that if he's that dangerous that they wouldn't try to take him out? Because if Mark Milley says that, I'm sure there are plenty of other people in government that think that. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But there's just, I just don't know how any rational, sane human being could think that he's the most dangerous person in the United States of America. That just seems completely preposterous. It's because he is the greatest threat to what they are. Because he's the most high-profile person to push an anti-establishment, anti-government agenda, which didn't even accomplish anything. But he stoked that fire enough that millions of people voted for him. That's why he's the most dangerous person in America, because he represents a mainstream interest to call government out for sucking and not doing their job and all the crap they do. And if that's so important to them that they're willing to just destroy their reputation, make up laws, change laws, whatever it takes to get the guy away from running for the Oval Office again, you're going to say it's a conspiracy theorist to think that somebody within our government would be willing to take him out? Come on. You cannot be that dumb. And if I read this article, all I assume is you're just towing the government line. Because there's no possible way. There's no possible way you can just say, that's a conspiracy theorist. And if you were a real journalist willing to do a real journalist's job, you should be all over this. And nobody cares about it. They had to move on in 2 seconds because it was not politically convenient for them. Kamala Harris is always like, the bipartisan border bill that Trump shut down because it was not politically sound for him to fix immigration. Okay, but it was not politically sound for you guys to care about an attempted assassination on Donald Trump. But you're right. You're better than he is. It's so unbelievable to me that you can just dispel this as conspiracy theorist. You're right. There's nothing here to see. And you wonder why your networks are a joke and nobody wants to watch them, and why Republican candidates don't want to go on there for go on your networks for another debate, especially when you have them fact checking for one side and not the other. All Trump does is lie. Meanwhile, what do? Oh, we're just gonna lie. I just thought that whole thing was so dumb. All right, it's getting late here. I have a couple more stories I wanted to get through, but if you want to check out my Substack newsletter, I'll link it in here. It's completely free. Okay, if you're not familiar with what Substack is, it's kind of like another social media site. There's something on there called Notes, which is basically like Twitter. If you want to be a part of that, you don't have to. If you want to download the app, it's awesome. And the app is cool because it can have everything on there: video, podcast, audio version, my newsletter, my notes, whatever. And what you do is you can subscribe to my Substack for free in the app, and you can see it every day that it comes out, and it will send it to you as an email. You don't have to sign up for the email if you don't want to. You can subscribe solely on the app. It's just a way for me to organize my stuff until I get my website up. I have a history website, historyonaWhim.com, but that's just history stuff. So I'm hoping to have more of like a political blog type thing where I can just put up my stories there. But if you want to check out the other stuff I missed today, check that out. I'll put the link down below. Just sign up for the Substack. It's free. There are paid options on there. I don't have a paid newsletter or anything. Payments help because like I'm a recent grad student. I graduated with my PhD just a couple months ago. My wife's in medical school. Like, if you want to do a paid thing, it would really help me out. Or if you want to help me out in the buttons down below, there's a thing called buymeacoffee.com. It's like if you want to leave a one-off tip, you don't have to do that. I'm just saying, if you feel so compelled, you're like, I don't want to pay for a Substack subscription. I'll help you out. Throw a couple bucks. Help me put food on the table, I guess. But anyways, if you want to move on, if you want to just see what the other stuff was I had to say, check that out. It's completely free. It may say like, oh, you have to, it'll pop up a thing like put your email in. You can skip it if you want to. So some top Dems will not commit to certifying a Trump win, according to Axios. This guy, Jamie Raskin, where is he from? Dun, dun, dun. I don't even know what state Jamie Raskin's from. Doesn't say. House Democrats railed against House Speaker Mike Johnson for hedging on whether a GOP-controlled House would certify a Kamala Harris victory. Some other senior members are playing a similar game. Why it matters? Because those Democrats are trapped between their deep distrust of Trump and their vigorous denunciations of any election changes in the years since the January 6th attack. Let's call it an attack. There are some Democratic people Democratic politicians who are not committing to fully certifying the election. Raskin here, who is a member of the House Oversight Committee, he's the ranking member He did actually object to the Trump electors in 2017, and he told Axios in an interview that if Trump won a free, fair, and honest election, then he would obviously accept it. But he doesn't assume that Trump would use free, fair, and honest means to secure victory. He's doing whatever he can to interfere in the process, like manipulating the electoral college counts in Nebraska or manipulating the vote count in Georgia. Rep. Jan Schakowsky of Illinois says she did actually vote to objecting to George W. Bush's electors in 2005. Said of Trump, I don't know what kind of shenanigans he is planning. We would have to, in any election, make sure that all the rules have been followed. This goes on. Jim McGovern, Massachusetts, objected to Trump electors in 2017 as well. He said they would certify a Trump victory, assuming everything goes the way we expect it to. We have to see how it all happens. My expectation is that we would. So this goes on. Interestingly here, I was under the impression, based off the absolute crap show that was the last election and the fallout, that our elections are the most safe and secure things, safe and secure elections of anywhere. Merely questioning them is a threat to democracy. And if they're so safe and secure that shenanigans are not possible. But how is it possible that Trump can commit shenanigans then? Can you please answer me that? He's not in office. He has no power. He never really did. And how is he going to rig something? And this is just so beyond hypocritical to me. It's proof that if it's the establishment politicians or the Democrats that do it, it's okay. You can question election results all you want. It happens. Hillary Clinton is still out there convinced and telling people that she did not lose in 2016 to Trump. Putin stole the election from her. She says that. And she says things like Trump and Tucker Carlson are Putin's agents and they love him. And back when Bush got elected, they said that it was fake. That not true. They've never been able to handle a loss. They've always pushed back on that. So it's real fascinating to me that it's only okay if they do it. And it just tells you this whole system is stupid. It's a joke. They are better than you, and they know it. It's like a global gym. Remember the movie Dodgeball? What was the motto was, we're better than you, and we know it. That should be the motto of the Democrat Party and the Uniparty Republicans. We're better than you, and we know it. Because they're allowed to do it all day. But if you, peon, peasant, ye who is beneath thee, well, if you question anything, well, you're democracy flushing right down the toilet because of you. Thanks a lot. You ruined democracy. You killed democracy. Thanks. That's how they act. They really do. And for them to go around saying like, well, he may be up to shenanigans. Well, I thought that was impossible. I thought things were so secure. It's going to be like, listen, if Trump gets elected or Kamala Harris gets elected, which is going to have to be one of the two, there's going to be a side who refuses to believe the results. And it's partially because in 2020, they refused to even let people question the results of the election. They refused to look into them at all. And they've spent the last entire presidential tenure demonizing people who did question the election results. So you made a lot of people feel very, very isolated and distrustful to the point where there's probably people that are like, I don't even know what the point of voting is. And there were things that were very questionable that happened. whether it was true or not that they were questionable, we never really got to know. And so it's understandable that people like that would just be like, well, they're just going to screw us over again, especially because they hate Trump so much. Don't you think they would do anything in their power to make sure that it doesn't happen again? On just that front. And there's this front saying like, well, Trump's going to do whatever it takes to win. He's evil. He's basically a dictator. He's going to do whatever. We can't let him be president. Nope, I refuse. Remember, what was the thing they said? People said on like Facebook and stuff in 2016 when he got elected. Not my president. He's not my president. Remember that? Trump, not my president. Like they were just like somehow that was going to be okay. And well, then you still got to live in the United States of America. And then I don't know if you remember this. There was the safety pin. I'm a safe space. People would put safety pins on there. I remember I was at work the day after the election and I was helping people, and there would be people, these women would come in with safety pins. I'm safe. I'm not dangerous like Trump. Yeah, it's just like I mean, oh my God, it will be, if Trump wins, it will be hilarious. It'll be so funny. I don't really care. Like, I think they both suck one way or the other. I think it would suck. The reason why I think it would suck less with him is because he would get so much pushback. He would get nothing done. Where the government doing nothing is better than Kamala Harris doing something. That's the way I feel about it. So it would just be funny to watch him win. To watch the heads just explode. It will be hilarious. But they would also be dangerous. Because people will fly off the handle. Lose their minds. With that lady like screaming in the street. Dude, funniest. Those people crying with like Hillary Clinton hats on. Dude, funniest shit ever. And this would be even more hilarious. But that point aside, they're going to reject it one way or the other. So it's like, what's going to happen? Dude, this is a crazy, like, we are weeks away from this election happening. What's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Polling numbers are everywhere. Kamala is desperately trying to do the interview tour because she waited too late because she was too scared to speak to the press. And then she got behind, probably needs to get ahead. And it's in all the podcasts and the late night show. They're doing nothing for anybody because they're talking to just their big echo chamber. That's all that is. Going on Colbert does nothing but talk to people that were going to vote for her anyway. She's just freaking out. Trump's doing his thing. We got people saying like, I don't know if I can certify it because he'll be up to shenanigans. And then you got people saying like, well, last time they tried to do this. So it's dude, it's going to be crazy. What's your prediction? Are you into the betting thing? I don't bet. It's a problem of it when you're broke. But if I had money, I wouldn't bet. But if you bet, do you buy into the whole betting markets thing? Because Trump's up in that. All right. Well, I'm going to cut this video here. Thanks for watching. Please like my video, subscribe to my channel, share it, follow my, subscribe to my Substack. I'll be back tomorrow night with another video. Hopefully, I feel much better today. I'm not coughing as much. I did like a 20-minute video 2 nights ago, and then I ended up staying up all night coughing my lungs out. So I do feel much better. Thank God. So have a safe Saturday, fun Saturday. A lot of good college football games on tomorrow. Michigan has a bye week. Michigan sucks this year, so I don't really care. But I think Lions are back this week too. Let's go, baby. We're already like halfway through college football season. Flies by. So enjoy your Saturday. God bless. Stay safe. Avoid the lunatics. Have a wonderful weekend. Say a prayer for me that I smoke a deer on Sunday night. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Bye. Thanks for watching.